Okay, so I have a very interesting question to ask, Curtis.
Sure.
So you mentioned that you have to have passion,
Yes,
right?
lots of passion.
Okay, I am an advocate of passion, right? But I'm like, where do you now find the bridge between like passion and making money? I mean, everyone is out there. The reason why you're in a good career, in quotes, is to make money and to spend and I mean, take care of the people you love, right?
Mm-hmm.
But how do you tie passion with money, pretty much, right? Some people actually intend because of the money.
Sure.
But now you're telling me that you have to be passionate about the role you're doing because you have to engage your community and go beyond an extra on certain days where you don't feel like it, right?
Okay.
So how do you combine when the passion is not there but the money is there, or when the money is there and the passion is not there? How do you what's your thoughts around that?
Interesting question. I won't provide an answer so much as I will provide some perspective. And I don't want to botch the statement up, but it's often said that if you're passionate about what you do, you never have to work a day in your life.
Okay.
And what that means is that if you're excited to go in and do the things that you enjoy most, then you don't feel that you're having to get up and do it just for the sake of earning a salary or being able to make ends meet. I mean, yes, we all have to do that, but I would caution against anyone who's going out and trying to pursue a career in technology simply for the money. I mean, yes, it is technology skills are in demand, and then generally when you compare salaries within tech to within technology to other industries, it is very competitive. But again, I want to caution against going in for those reasons, because I think you'll find more problems than you solve in that regard. The only other perspective I'll offer too is, and this really doesn't have to do much with technology, it really has more to do with how you plan your life in terms of managing your finances. So I think that's more important. There are probably less salaried employees in other fields and industries that don't make as much as those within the technology industries, but are very good about managing their money. They live better lives as far as I'm concerned, because they make their money work for them. They don't necessarily go and work for their money.
True.
So again, that wasn't an answer. That was just more of my personal perspective. My mileage may vary for everyone out there as it relates to that.
Okay, so people have different views about certain things when it comes to passion and money, but I am of the opinion that if money is there, good for you, right? But I think most importantly, try and tie your work with being earning good money as well as also being passionate about it, right? Because that's literally sort of like the driving force for some times when you don't feel like it, right? Yeah, exactly. And also like making meaningful impact with the product you're working with or the task you're being assigned to do, creating value to your stakeholders or whoever you'll be working with.
Absolutely. I love the way you brought the terms passion and impact together. But because as far as I'm concerned, I really want to make sure that the next generation of technologists and builders succeed. Meaning that I'm very passionate about working with the younger generation, and I'm referring to not just college level learners, but grade level as well too. I want to be able to have a lasting impact to show people that look like me to say, hey, you can pursue a career in these fields, and if you do it the right way, you can be successful. I want to be a model that can help them find a way forward for themselves.
And I can attest to that. Curtis is that person who is passionate. Like if you're in a circle, he would push you and ensure that you're actually like making that impact, right?
I've given you plenty of homework assignments.
A lot of it.
And she's making good on them, so good for Chinwe. That's awesome.
So now going back to being a principal developer advocate, right? So would you say there are like some challenges you face on a day-to-day, right? Because sometimes it feels glamorous, like being a DevRel, you're traveling, you're having like on the plane, but then again, when it comes to executing like certain tasks, right, or like even tracking different metrics I need, are there like any challenges that you face on the road?
I mean, there is. I'm human too. And then in terms of what you mentioned about the glamour, I think that may be more perception than reality. It really comes down to the individual. I mean, I consider myself a humble guy. I would also like to think that I'm very unselfish in a lot of regards, meaning that I'm really not there for the glory. I mentioned wanting to be able to do things for future generations of builders. You know, if I can go and see someone that I've had an opportunity to kind of touch or have some sort of direct engagement with, and they move to the next stage of their career, or if 10 of them do it, I'm way more prouder or proud of having those 10 or so people achieve something that's meaningful for them, as opposed to me trying to take the credit for anything like that, if it makes sense. So did I answer your question entirely there?
Yes, you did, actually.
It's not about me. It's about everybody who really wants to find their way in this field. I'm just here to try to help and offer some perspective, and I hope I'm doing a good job of it.
Yeah, so actually I have just certain misconceptions out there about the developer advocates, right? And I think I sort of like touched that like in my previous question. But now, these certain misconceptions that we do have, for example, a particular one that developer advocates, they travel a lot to conferences, right? And sort of adding value to the top line of the business, right? What do you say about it? Like, in terms of like, so I think that's a conversation we had like yesterday, right? About how do you measure the impact you have to the overall goal of the company, right? What would you say? What are your thoughts around that? Aside just the fancy trips and the likes, right? What is the major impact in terms of even tracking OKRs, right?
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah, I'll do my best to answer that one. If you can build trust with the people that you're trying to convey your message to, whether it's through learning, whether it's showing them how, you know, this tool or that tool can help them solve a problem, once that trust is earned and it lights a fire in them and gets them inspired to be able to want to do more, impact starts to show itself when you can make certain calls to action for them to go and follow through on. And what I mean by that is, in the case of you, if you're starting to put together a very well-structured video series that people can go and learn more about data and analytics, you're having lots of impact as well yourself. I do the same when I encourage people to go out and try to find certain certifications, or maybe just build a plan. I think a plan would be a better example of, you know, find something that you can do that's actionable and measurable within the next 3 months, and then see how you achieve. You don't have to have the three. You can have a broader multi-year vision for what it is that you want to do, but break it down into smaller, measurable time periods. You know, if you want to be a college graduate within 4 years, then talk about what you're going to do for the next 2 or 3 months to get yourself ready to go into a college. You know, you can't walk in and graduate right away. Build yourself a roadmap that you can follow, and everything will work out. Because quite frankly, that's what worked for me. When I was younger, I almost didn't think I was going to go to college. You know, part of that was that, I didn't have a whole lot of belief in myself, but thankfully my mother and a few others around that really believed in me, encouraged me to do so. That was when I started my journey. And I wasn't thinking about graduating at the time. I was just thinking about getting in and having a successful freshman year.
Okay, so let me just come in here. Like, from where we're from, you have to have a good education, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So beyond just like back in Nigeria, beyond just like your primary education or your secondary education, you have to go through university, get a degree at the very least.
So I've heard the stories.
We don't even play with education at all.
I know.
But I think it's sort of like different with like other countries. But I'm glad. I mean, we have that sort of discipline instilled in us, right? In my background. And
everybody should have that. I think even if the job or the role doesn't require a college education, I always encourage people to try to go seek it, because I think it makes you a better individual. It makes you well-rounded. If I can share a quick personal story, I'm having one of my daughters who's close to entering college now. We talk about these things all the time. And one of the things I like to stress that doesn't have a whole lot to do with college is the fact that I think she's about to enter some of the best years of her life. So the college experience to me is really about having that wonderful experience that basically transitions you from a young teenage person into that mature adult that you're going to be for the rest of your life. Very, very important.
Very important. Very important. So now going back to the misconceptions and assumptions we have out there, right? So what would you say is the difference between, we hear a lot about developer advocates, there's developer relations, there's
Evangelists.
please, what's the difference? I don't have the same thing.
Yes, to me, I think it's just semantics.
Okay,
Don't worry so much about the fancy name or the fancy title.
Mm-hmm.
Worry about what it is that you do, or what a developer advocate does. I know people within our organizations that have the solutions architect title,
mm-hmm.
but they do a phenomenal job of advocating for the platform.
Okay.
They do a phenomenal job of going outside of what would normally be considered kind of their day-to-day role.
Oh, wow.
And really trying to reach communities.
Yeah.
So to me, I really wouldn't get too hung up into the names, because what's in a name, as they ask, it's really about what it is that you do and how you have reach and impact with people.
Yeah, good. So speaking about that, right, so would you say that a DevRel, it says what they do, would you say they're sort of like salesperson? It's sort of
I guess, well,
like they have targets to meet.
Everybody, it's more about earning trust. And even in a sales role, a real sales role, you really want to instill some level of trust in saying that, there's some benefit in this for you. Yeah. So, technically it's not a sales role, but it actually assists the sales process in terms of showing someone that may be using the platform that there's some benefit and value in it.
That's fine. So now I'll be asking a few fun questions just to better understand.
Well, the other questions were fun too, just so you know that now.
So you know that we're in the era of work from home, remote work, and work from office. Mm-hmm. What's your perception? Are you a work from office person or a work from home body?
So if you think about the traditional 5-day work week, I'm typically 3 days in the office, 2 at home. And
for you as a person now, would you rather like work from home?
No, I do have a home office. I enjoy working out of it, but for me, I really like getting out and collaborating with people directly. That's something you don't get to do a lot at home. I think for the most part, when we were all kind of grounded during the pandemic, we got used to it. Things have gotten better, and quite frankly, I think we should all go back to that mode where we spend a little more time in our respective offices working with people. Collaboration has always been a good thing, and I think it'll always remain. It's great to know that you have options, because we do have other things that we want to do.
That's right.
If I have a family commitment or something that may not necessarily require that I be in the office that day, then I feel I can be just as productive at home.
At home, that's true. So like in terms of like relaxing, what's your best approach? Would you do Netflix or Hulu?
Netflix.
Right.
I think we do have. I think my daughter has Hulu. There may be just 1 or 2 shows that I ever watch on that platform.
Oh, okay.
But I'm mostly a Netflix guy.
Okay.
I'm going to age myself, but I remember. I can't believe I'm telling you this. When Netflix first came out, they used to bring DVDs to the house.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, I didn't know about that.
So I've been a long-term subscriber of Netflix. So
nice.
I've gone from having DVDs from Netflix being delivered to my house to going to the streaming service. So I guess the loyalty is there.
Okay. So now in terms of like social media, right? Social media age, information age. I know that I connect with you more on LinkedIn, right? I mean, for the professional capacity, right? But you personally, which do you prefer, Instagram, LinkedIn, or Twitter? And I know you tweet a lot sometimes.
Yeah. I guess in order of preference, it's probably LinkedIn, Twitter, and then Instagram. Okay. I think LinkedIn offers a more professional experience. Yeah. Which is kind of why we do what we do.
Yeah, that's true.
Twitter, I originally liked Twitter because I thought it was brilliant in that you're challenging people to be creative or insightful in 140 characters or less. To me, there was a level of brilliance there, because those that can't do it didn't deserve to use the platform. As far as
Are you trying to?
No, I'm just in my perspective. Now that they've extended the character limit, and it goes beyond just technical. Sometimes it covers, religion, politics, sports, news, kind of everything. Twitter is oftentimes a little hard for me to kind of filter those things I'm not necessarily concerned about. And then the thing I do like about Instagram, although I don't use it much, is, you know, I'm a very visual person.
Okay.
And I love the fact that, you know, they say a picture can sell 1,000 words, provided that you're going and enjoying the right level of picture.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
that would be my order of preference for the three.
Okay, that's pretty interesting.